I mean, it's quite extraordinary that where we are as a society, as a country, globally with anti-Semitism, that we're still being dragged back into these foundational discussions about what is and what isn't anti-Semitism. The IHRA definition has been almost universally accepted, certainly by the Jewish world, by both major political parties in Australia, by universities, by sporting associations, UN bodies. It's based originally on an EU working definition, on a US State Department definition, used for years without controversy. But whenever someone wants to muddy the waters and prevent us from actually looking at curing anti-Semitism, they drag us back to this discussion about the IHRA definition.
Julian Leeser, the Liberal politician, gave an extraordinary speech in Parliament yesterday. He excoriated the Royal Commission for having too short a time frame, for failing to call alleged perpetrators or alleged offenders onto the stand to answer questions. He also said that some prominent Australians, and not only Jewish Australians, but people like, and he did mention, of course, Josh Frydenberg, the former Treasurer, but also Nova Peris, Jennifer Westacott, Mike Kelly. He said that they should have all, among others, been called to give powerful testimony at the Commission. Do you agree with that?
Look, when you look at the individuals you've just named there, someone like Josh Frydenberg has unparalleled experience in public policy and lived experience as a the most high-profile Jewish politician this country has ever seen. Someone like Mike Kelly with his military and foreign policy experience, and obviously his government experience as well. Jennifer Westacott in the university sector. Nova Peris as an athlete and as a former senator and an Indigenous person. These people have unique perspectives of extraordinary value. Now, the fact that they're not being called doesn't mean that their written submissions won't be considered by the Commission, and I sincerely hope they will be paid great regard, because these people have an incredible amount to offer of insight and unique perspective. Ultimately, it comes down to, I think, two things. First is we wanted to see the lived experience of the Jewish community brought to public light, a true examination of what's happening in schools and universities and sports clubs and in the cultural sector and in politics and in the media, all of these facets of society. And I believe that's been achieved to a great extent, but perhaps more could have been done, and I think this is the point that Julian's making. But also, we need to see those who are responsible for the effectively explosion of social cohesion, its destruction in this country, and the precursors to violent anti-Semitism, the drivers of that. We want to see that examined, and I'm not sure that's been duly looked at. But ultimately, we do have great faith in the Commissioner and her team, and we hope that when the recommendations come out at the end of it, we will see this all reflected and come through. But we wait with bated breath, certainly. Yeah,
let's hope so. Now, Alex, shortly after the Bondi terror attack, you and I started working together on documenting the stories, recording it for history in a proper way in a book. And the book has just come back from the printers. HarperCollins has published it, and here it is. This is our book. If we can show it, I mean, it's a powerful record, Alex, for history of what happened on December 14.
Here we set out to do something for our community and for the country, for the families of the dead, to preserve their memories, to tell their stories. This talks about the precursors to it. It talks about the aftermath, the impact on society, on the country, on the families. And ultimately, this is our tribute to this country. Yeah. This is our hope and aspiration for something better. And I hope that the country engages with this, because there is so much to learn about the anatomy of a terror attack, how it happens, how we prevent it from happening again, and how we move our country forward to somewhere better than it's settled at the moment.
And what this book is, I mean, we say the Royal Commission was set up, of course, in response to Bondi, but what we've done here in this book is we've told the stories of the terror attack, absolutely, and the victims and what happened in that 7 minutes, the decisions that meant the difference between life and death, what parents did, where they took their children, how people ran and hid and survived, or not, tragically. But this book is also an investigation.
Yes.
And we look, and we did that together.
Yes.
And completely separate from the Royal Commission, we looked at where there were mistakes made or oversights or failings by law enforcement and intelligence agencies. And we haven't done this to assign any blame. It's so that to try and help fix the mistakes so that this doesn't happen again. So this book is part the story of the massacre,
yes.
It's part investigative, and then the final section, part 3, is the roadmap forward. How do we get our country on a better course? How do we stop terrorism from ripping apart lives again, at Bondi Beach no less?
And look, that is so critical, because we reflect now on the fact that we're 6 months or a little bit more from this massacre. Are we safer as a community and as a country? Is the risk of Islamic terrorism now under control? Are we able to freely congregate in the way that we did prior to this attack?
Exactly.
And I think the answer to those questions, sadly, is no. So we need to focus on how this happened, the failings, the missed signs, and where we need to go sector by sector as a society and as a community. And I really hope that lawmakers and the public engage with this so that we can together improve our country and prevent anyone from suffering the pain and anguish that we've all suffered.
Absolutely. All right. Alex, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Sharri.